Can you speak a little bit about the timeline for the C of O? I mean, so there's a couple different strata for the C of O, right? Some properties have a certain timeline and others have different one. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's pretty easy. These are all mandated by the state. The city really has no control over that. The state sets those time periods that each inspection must occur if it's a rental property. So 1 and 2 family houses are inspected every 6 years. And there could be other reasons why we go out a lot sooner than that, but for the most part, generally speaking, every 6 years we'll be in that property, if it's a rental property, to inspect it at that 6-year period of time expiration. For any property that is 3 units or more, 3 apartments or more, or in a mixed use, meaning that there's a store or business attached within that property, then those are inspected every 3 years. So we're out there for those type of inspections every 3 years. And again, all of that's state mandated. Anyone can go to the New York State Department of Buildings and see that information on there. It's actually under the Department of Labor, but definitely you can see the cycle by which those inspections must occur.
But in the city of Rochester, we also have a complaint-driven process. So
Yes.
if I'm a tenant and I've rented an apartment and the C of O was passed 4 years ago, so that means the timeline isn't up yet. If I identify or I believe that there's a lead hazard, I can call the city of Rochester and you'll come and do an inspection just to identify whether or not there is a hazard. And I don't have to have my landlord's permission to do that. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's a protected right in our lead ordinance that was put in just to ensure that there was no retaliation. Folks have a pretty good idea based upon all of the education and information that's been put out there, whether or not, that kind of condition exists. It really is not that hard to determine if paint is peeling in your house. I think we all know that. Whether you're a homeowner or a renter, most people know what it looks like. And there are, believe it or not, still some landlords out there who will not do what they're supposed to do in a timely fashion to mitigate those problems. And so we put that in there just to ensure that if a tenant wants to call and make that complaint, and there are other reasons why they can call and complain too, which are protected rights when it comes to those phone calls. We want to make sure that based on this particular violation, that they can call us without any type of retaliation, because it is a serious effect. If a kid gets lead poisoned, and those of you that work in this industry, this profession, that there's really no cure for that. So we want to get out there and be proactive about any kind of perceived lead violation in that home.